In example 3, we're going to find some more trig values using that unit circle. So the first one we have is the sine of 30 degrees. So the very first thing we want to do is we want to figure out where is 30 degrees on our unit circle. So if we graph it, 30 degrees is going to be in the first quadrant. Remember, it's going to be between 0 and 90. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create that triangle. So if we have a 30 degrees in here, that means this angle up here has to be 60 degrees. So labeling our triangle, across from 60 degrees is our square root of 3 over 2, and across from 30 degrees is our 1/2. And what we're looking for is the sine. So the only thing we're looking for is the y value of our point. Well, this is going to be our y value, and this is our x value. So our y value is 1/2, which tells us that the sine of 30 is just equal to 1/2. Let's take a look at letter B, the cosine of 120 degrees. We need to first figure out where that is. So here's 0 degrees, here's 90 degrees, here's 180 degrees. So 120 has to be somewhere between 90 and 180, so we know that it's going to be in the second quadrant. So we're going to draw our triangle in the second quadrant. And then we're looking for our reference angle. So if this is 120 degrees here, we want the difference between 180 and 120. Thinking about those reference angles from the other day. So the difference between 180 and 120 is going to give us 60, which is one of our special right triangles. So if that's 60, then our top angle has to be 30. If we're looking for the cosine, we're looking for the x. So the x is right here, which is across from our 30-degree angle. Now, because this is in the negative direction, we would label this as negative 1/2, which tells us that the cosine of 120 is negative 1/2. Let's do another one, the tangent of 315. If we want the tangent of 315, we have to find where that's at first. So here's 0, here's 90, here's 180, here's 270, and all the way around is 360. And for some of you, you're going to have an easier time figuring out where those angles are. Others of you are going to really want to make sure you label everything that you have. Now, 315 is going to be somewhere between 270 and 360, so we know it's going to lie in the fourth quadrant. So we're going to draw our angle here in the fourth quadrant, knowing that this is 315. So what we need to do is figure out what our reference angle is, which means we have to subtract 360 and 315. So 360 minus 315 gives us a reference angle of 45 degrees. So this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And with our 45, 45, 90 triangle, if we take a look at our sides, across from a 45-degree angle is the square root of 2 over 2. And then this side is the square root of 2 over 2 as well, but remember it's going in the negative direction. So we would label this as negative square root of 2 over 2. Now, our tangent function is the sine divided by the cosine, or y divided by x. So we have to go through and divide here. So we are taking negative square root of 2 over 2, which is our y, and we are dividing it by the square root of 2 over 2, which is our x. Now, all this stuff is going to be non-calculator on the test. So we need to know how to divide fractions without a calculator. To divide fractions, we're going to keep the first one the same, negative square root of 2 over 2. We change division to multiplication, and we flip the second fraction. So this becomes 2 over the square root of 2. And then looking on our diagonals here, we can cancel these out. Square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 2 over 2, we can cancel those, are both 1. And same thing with our 2's. And then if we multiply it across, we get negative 1 times 1, which is negative 1, over 1, which tells us that our tangent is going to be negative 1 after we simplify. Finally, let's go take a look at our secant. So secant of negative 150 degrees, if we draw in our angle here. Now we're going the other direction, so here's 0, here's negative 90 degrees, negative 180 degrees, which tells us that negative 150 is going to be somewhere between negative 90 and negative 180, which means it's going to be in this third quadrant. So I'm going to draw my angle here and then get my triangle drawn in. If this is 150 and this is 180, I'm looking for this reference angle here, which is going to be 30. So I'm using my 30, 60, 90 triangle for this one. And if I'm trying to find the secant, I'm looking for the reciprocal of the cosine, which is x. So I need this length right here. Well, this is across from a 60-degree angle, so this length is going to be negative square root of 3 over 2. And what I want is I want the reciprocal of that because I want the secant. Well, the reciprocal of negative square root of 3 over 2 is going to be negative 2 over the square root of 3. Since I have that radical in the denominator, I'm going to go ahead and rationalize this by multiplying by the square root of 3 over the square root of 3, giving me negative 2 square root of 3 over 3. And that's my secant of negative 150. Negative 2 square root of 3 over 3. Then I have 6 of them for you to try on your own. So go ahead and scroll over here. And you can try them. If you want to try one and then check it, you can do it that way. If you want to do all 6 and then check it, you can do it that way. Please let me know at any point in time if you have questions. So pause it now and then unpause it when you're ready to start checking. If you did letter A correctly, you should get negative square root of 3 over 3. If you did letter B correctly, you should get negative 1 over 2. Letter C, negative square root of 2. Letter D, negative square root of 3 over 2. Letter E, negative 1. And letter F, negative 1/2. Please let me know if you have questions.